Well, good evening. It's Friday, the 10th of April. How are you? And have you taken control of your day? Yep. Every day it's a little bit different, isn't it? Aren't we all changing every single day? Kind of crazy, right? Yep, still got the green screen going on. Might as well take advantage. So I've been doing a lot of video work, and every day is a shift. If you're trying to stay afloat and trying to keep going, and it's so true. I like the Wayne Dyer quote today that I've got with this post. It's about intentions. That's why I always say, isn't it interesting too how when you look back, hindsight's 2020. When you're thinking on the terms of everything happens for a reason, yeah, it's relative to the time sequence that you live in. Observations are everything. Being grateful is something that really comes to mind when something happens, because you can't go backwards. You just got to live right now in the present and be your best right now. And sometimes we're not going to be our best. Sometimes we're going to, especially now, everybody's going through these waves of emotion and waves of thoughts, and every day is a little different. But coming on here every day since August, it's sort of paid off. The past month's been bizarre, but it's still good to keep that general rule of thumb, to get up and take control of your day from the time you wake up. Make sure that the first thing that you do is not checking social media or listening to the news, or paying attention to that dream, which, by the way, I'm going to talk about in a second. Yeah, so there's all kinds of things that are contributing to our mindset right now. Mindset is everything. If you want to be successful, if you want to be happy, and ultimately those are synonymous, because truly we come here on this earth to live our lives, and if we can live them with love and fun and laughter, and avoid cynicism and put downs and barbarianism. And again, I'll tell you why I just said that. So waking up every day with intention is how I start this out. Taking control of your day. Have you taken control of your day? And have you taken control of your day? Yes, I have two different cameras going on here. Slightly different. One's an iPhone 11, one's an iPhone 10. And there's reasons for that too. I don't need to go into that. So getting up with intention when you first wake up, whether it's with an alarm or without an alarm. If it's with an alarm, it means you intended to wake up at a certain time. So get up, honor yourself. If you intended to wake up at a certain time and you hit that snooze button, you're going back to... I always seem to get a phone call right in the middle of this. Some people are masters of timing, aren't they? And so if you wake up with intention, then it kind of sets your day, and it allows you to then plan it out and make the best of it. And being grateful is another huge thing, because like I just said earlier, just looking back on how things have happened, you realize it could have gone a lot different, couldn't it? Or I'm really glad I did that, or I'm really glad I enjoyed that moment. So that's the second thing, gratefulness, and then listing out the things you have and prioritizing them according to the most difficult, most challenging thing first. Because if you're anything like me, I'll list out a lot of things and I'll skirt around the most important thing because I'll feel like I'm busy. But if you don't finish any of them, or if you don't finish the main one, you're going to be constantly frustrated. You're going to just be living in this perpetual frustration, which I'm guilty of, but at the same time, I'm working on it. One of the things coming on here every day really helps. I wish that I had come on here earlier today. I usually come on here earlier in the morning, but I started out, wanting to finish something that I'd started yesterday. Almost finished, almost there. Now I'm really anxious to get it done. So that being said, and I'll talk about that too, is that I didn't wake up with the alarm. I failed again. I've been doing that a lot lately. It's been a lot of shifts. My spouse has been laid off all week. And so one of the things is I have this inner feeling, just like a lot of people do. I want to take care of their loved ones, and they want to make sure that they're okay. But when all of a sudden there's a shift in dynamics as far as how that goes, when he, for instance, works, loved his job actually. And hopefully he'll get it back when this subsides. And but it's a shift because think he's just not exactly sure what to do with himself and worries about things that he wouldn't have normally worried about. Now, I work from home, and my work involves a lot of creativity and a lot of different changes in dynamics. There's some structure to it on some days, and there's seemingly not structure other days. Like when I'm editing videos, when I'm on phone calls, when I'm, there's a lot of things that I've mapped out to be that way during the day. So it's just a little difficult. It's hard. It's kind of a break in my day. So so on me, it becomes a new focus to make sure that we can work in the same location. And a lot of us are dealing with that. We're living with people that we love as we're staying home, right? So we're concentrating on not going out. So, the deal's changed for everyone. So some of us less than others. So I had a real bad dream. Not bad dream. It's just that when you go back to sleep, you're in a different sleep cycle, and it was really amazing because it was the most lucid dream I've ever had. What do you think it had to do with? When I woke up, it's like it was slowly starting to make sense. I mean, I was in the Arden Fair Mall over here and trying to get from one end to the other, and we lost each other, and I couldn't find him, and so then there was this thing that was happening that nobody wanted to talk about. They were shutting doors, and then as I tried to turn around, I dropped my phone and it cracked. The whole, how many people have cracked their phone? It's awful. But it's really awful when it gets worse and you start like almost cutting your finger trying to get to it. So now I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm not gonna have a phone. And so the Apple store is down that way. So I turned around and there's all these resistances. I had to sneak through this store and that store, and they were shutting doors as I was getting to them, and I was banging on the door at the Apple store saying, please let me in, my phone is cracked and I need my phone for survival. And I finally talked this nice lady into letting me in, and it was somebody that I knew. So there was just one pattern after another and it had to do with, obviously, with the frustrations that we have going on right now. Because every single day we're finding out what we can and what we cannot do, or what we should and shouldn't be doing, and how we should and shouldn't be feeling. And it's just this wave of emotion and this wave of sort of confusion, and it's not always that difficult to be optimistic or positive. And that's the other reason, why I come on here too. Mindfulness, find a way. So I'm in here working. Here's the second piece as far as perspective and looking at life. Binge watching is one thing. A lot of people think it's a big waste of time. My spouse, he's from the Philippines, right? And so 20 years younger, but watching that show Outlander, it has a lot of history that's true. Of course, it's a very fictitious story, and there's time travel involved, but it brings you back to 200 years ago. And so there's a lot of perspective there, but there's also a whole lot of perspective with how wonderful life is today, how grateful we should be for technology and advancements in human behavior. Because as humankind, we were pretty barbaric back then. The slightest little thing, and you got beaten, bludgeoned, tortured. There was this civil war. There was just so much. The slavery, just how badly women were treated, just the whole thing. And it was just a way of life, and just little perspectives like that, and just going through that whole thing of history, it gives you a lot of perspective, even though it's a fictional kind of show. So here I'm in my office, and I'm not being resentful or anything that he's out there watching TV, binge watching, because he's unemployed, doesn't have any other choice, right? So at the same time, it's really awesome to see the learning curve, and when you can bring art into the picture to help you learn something about history that's very meaningful, it gives you a perspective of how things are right now. It really does help. And so I know that's just my 2 cents for the day, but waking up with intention for me started with having that dream and thinking, okay, you are so fortunate because that isn't the case. Things are not that bad. And hopefully things aren't going to be bad. I don't think they will, because I'm going to maintain a positive and an optimistic mindset. I'm going to stay connected to people, reach out to as many people as I can, and have Zoom dance parties and Zoom cocktail parties, and talk to as many people that I haven't talked to in a long time as I ever have. And I'm going to turn my business tactics anyway. I'm in a coaching program, and so there's some really awesome ideas for how we can give back to the community and help the community. And also in real estate, it's an essential function. Living somewhere, everybody's got to have a place to live. We're still going to be buying and selling houses. So I don't think my career is on the rocks. I think there's a lot of people that are going to want to hide out and be depressed and know that things aren't going to be as easy. They aren't already, but in some ways they are. It's all about relationships and people and getting along in the world and being kind to other people and doing what you can for others, and it comes back to you. And so that's my story for the day. And if you've got anything to share, if you want to reach out and ask any questions or just chat or talk, that would be really great. I saw Mel Robbins on a live with Sean T on Instagram, and it was really entertaining. She was drinking cocktails, and they were just cutting up. It was hilarious. I just loved it. So, even no matter who you are, we are all in this together. We are all the same in so many ways, and it's nice to see vulnerability in other people as well. I know that sounds kind of weird, but it's true. We're all human. So have a wonderful weekend and an awesome Friday, what's left of it, for wherever you are. And we'll talk to you again soon. All right, see ya.